Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm King Posh and today I'm showing you my front wheel drive race tune for this Oldsmobile Toronado. Here is my share code. Got it? Great. And we're going to go over a couple of things of why I'm using this 1200 horsepower engine versus the 1500 horsepower or the 1750. We'll probably just show you the 1750 horsepower engine. Why I went with this engine versus the higher power ones. And this engine's plenty powerful. So let's get into this and show you guys everything. Now I want to show you guys my settings for what I'm running for this video here. I'm going to show you guys that I am running with traction control off, stability off. That's mainly because I do a whole lot of drifting and I just don't want to change my settings every single time. So I have this set for how I want it ran all the time. Alright, so when I'm doing races, I run the same as I'm doing my drifts. So just wanted to show you guys that. So let's just take her outside first. I want to show you guys the difference between the engines and everything else. Then I'll show you the build and the tune. We'll go from there. But what I like about this engine is when I floor it, I mean, look, it does not redline all the way up there, and it does not like bounce off the rev limiter. All right. So yeah, if we just stop here, I don't have to go right up to there. All right. So here I'm floored. Look at that. All right. It gets up to go, all right? Doesn't get a red line until now, and now I can shift, all right? And it's got a a good top speed of 187. But for a C class, I mean this is really good for C class, getting up to like the 160 and whatnot. But yeah. So there's that, and that's with that engine. And let me take you and put the 1750 horsepower engine there because it's the same PI. It's the same C600. All right. So if we go over here, all right, as you can tell, I've got the 7.7 liter V12 in here. All right, you have these other engine options here, the 7.4 V8 TT, and you also have the 8.9 liter V8, and it's also in C class. So yeah, these are a little bit more powerful. All right, this one is bonkers. But let's take it outside with that engine and show you the difference between how smooth mine takes off versus how this thing takes off. And one thing I don't want in a race car is a lot of wheel spin. Nobody wants a whole lot of wheel spin. While your wheels are spinning, trying to gain traction, what are the other cars behind you doing? Look at that. They're already taking off. They're already speeding ahead of you, and then you're trying to play catch-up from here on out. All right, so I'm here, and now I'm going to floor it. All right. Now it's taken forever to get up to speed because all you're doing is your tires are just spinning, while everybody else is already down the strip and already on their way. So there's that. And of course, you're not going down a whole lot of straights with this car in general. You're going to be going around turns and etc. etc. Well, you're going to have all this power, and then you're going to have that turbo lag, and you're just going to be struggling with this car having the higher horsepower. So that's why I like the 1200 horsepower versus the 1750 and 1500. They're all the same. I all looked at them. All right. This one has just a lot more boost. All right, and then of course a lot more boost lag. So engine lag, whatever you want to call it. It's no good. But I mean, hey, you're more than welcome to look at the engines yourself. All right, here, I'll even put this thing on there, have that one go out. Now, why I'm saying you really can't touch much when you're in the C-class range is where I'm really going at here. Because if you change the gearing, well, you can't change the gearing to a point. Because here you got right here, I have a sport transmission in here, all right? If I want to be able to tune the transmission, all right, it would go up to a B class. All right, for all of that. So I had to go with the sport transmission. which means, get out of there, that on the gearing here, look, all I have to have is the final drive. So by running the C class, you're limited, and that's why the 1200 horsepower is the best overall. You can tell for this one would just act just like the 1750 engine. So there's that. So like you see, it just spins. All right. Harder to control because all it's doing is spinning its tires. All right. So that's why I prefer the other one. And then and that's just dragging along. It's still got the 22 pounds of boost, the same as the 1750 engine. But yeah, so I can just go right to here and get my own tune here. If you guys didn't know, I have an A-class racer as well. So there's that. We can just save this thing, get it right back to the other one. All right. Now here I can just slam on my brakes here. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. It just stays right above the red line with this engine. It's absolutely beautiful. Then you can shift and you can take your time with this car. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think it's got plenty of speed for the car class. I mean, it's got 1200 horsepower on top of that, of course. So that's really nice. So let's get in there and show you guys my build, what I've done to this thing. And I'll show you guys the full tune. Okay, so we already went over the engine. It's got the 7.7 liter V12 giving you 1200 horsepower. It's just got the stock drivetrain, front wheel drive. And it's got the twin turbo. Alright. For the front, it's just non-adjustable. Alright. If I try to put the adjustable, put some downforce in the front, as you can tell, it would take me up to a B class. I wanted a C class. Alright. I wanted it to be different. I wanted to see how much power I could get out of a C class, and this was it. It does have downforce in the back. That does definitely help out the vehicle. All right. Now I was able to put the the street hood on here. All right. You can run any hood you would want to on this thing. All right. You can even have nothing on the hood, but you're also adding 9 pounds. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make it as is that I want to make it. All right. And I was already requested to making this video for you guys and sharing the tune today, because I had somebody on my YouTube, Mitchie. Yeah, Mitchie. I had to double check the name, but Mitchie asked for a C class. He's like, "Oh, I see you have a C class. I want it. All right, I got you covered. Either way, we got stock tire compound, and with 1200 horsepower, you think that any engine really would spin tires like mad, but no, it doesn't. It takes off perfectly. All right. Now it does have a max of 305 millimeters in the front. All right, and it has a max of 305 in the rear, so they match the front and the rear. And that probably also helps with the limited tire spin from takeoff and so on and so forth. All right. And of course, I went with the heavier rim, the AF 118s, just so I could add more power to this vehicle. And then we have 19-inch rims in the front, and we got 21-inch rims in the rear, and it just looks really good together. Alright, we just got an upgraded track width just a little bit in the front there. As you can tell, look at that. Look how deep they get. Alright, and I figured this was just good enough. We didn't have to go any further than that. Same as with this one. Alright, it's really deep in there. It just gets it out there, and it just looks perfect as is. Alright, you've got a stock clutch in there to handle all that power. Alright, hey, they were built differently back then, okay? Either way, like we said, we have the sport transmission. We can only mess with the final drive. We can't mess with the other gears. Like I said, if we go through anything like this, it would take me up to a B class. I don't want that. Alright, just got a stock drive line. I mean, the stock drive line is like, solid steel. It's fine. It can handle the power. Alright, and it's got a race differential. Of course, anything could really handle the power. It's a video game. I get it. Anyway, moving on. Anyways, street brakes are on here. So you do have some stopping in here, alright? So your efficiency would be minus 2% if you went with just the stock brakes. And you would have a whole lot harder time stopping this tank of a vehicle. And it has drift springs and dampers. I always thought that instead of having like race, now you can run race if you want to. I go with this because A, it's lower, and B, for some reason I always feel like it turns a little bit better because it's got a drift kit, so the wheels turn harder. That's just how I always thought, and that's what I use. All right. Anyways, we got no anti-roll bars in the front. And no anti-roll bars in the rear. We do have a full-on roll cage on here. Now you could take out the roll cage, alright, and you're in those red things, so you could essentially add more stuffed things to this car if you wanted to. I decided to leave it as the roll cage. It looks more suitable. It looks like it's an actual, race car. And then we do have a street weight reduction, so we are saving some weight. So that is also a nice thing. Can't go any higher, of course. You go up to a B class, And then here is your engine options that you can buy from. And there's not many here. All right, so you got the stock intake. All right, race exhaust. Race cams and valves. Stock valves. And you got a race twin turbo. And this is before everything, I could have had the anti-lag in there. But I didn't see the need on it. And then it has a race flywheel. So, if you need the anti-lag, definitely go for it. But I don't see the need for having it. And as you can tell, the thing runs just fine. All right. And here's the tune. It's got a top speed of 187.9 miles per hour. The 1500 horsepower engine takes it up to 200 miles an hour, and the 1750 horsepower engine takes it up to, I think, 205 or 221. But that's just wild. And you have to deal with so much like turbo lag, etc., etc. But yeah, so we got 1515 to maximize that grip. All right, like I said, our gearing is just, we can only mess with the final drive. All this stuff is locked. All right, so it is really just a 3-gear car. All right, here is my alignment that I came up with so long ago. All right, I've been using this tune for ever since it was available to get. So you guys are seeing my original tune that I run. That's why the anti-lag isn't in there, because when I first built this car, I didn't have the anti-lag option available. So it's that old of a tune, but it works. Moving on. All right, dampening is 10, 9, 6, and 4. This is what I use for my race cars. I don't know why, but it just works. All right. And then aero, we do have downforce on the back, maxed out to handle this tank of a car. It's a tank. And to keep it, planted the best as we can. Since we can't mess with the front, we might as well max out the rear. All right, brakes. We just have street brakes on here, so you can't really mess with them. But hey, at least there's something there. And then my differential. If you've watched my videos in the past, I told you guys I use this differential 21 and 100 on both my rear-wheel drive drift tunes and my race cars. I'm not lying. I do use it. It is wonderful. All right. Some reason Well, I learned it on Horizon 4 that you actually turn harder running this differential setup. At well, lower speeds or medium speeds, you turn a lot better running this differential setup. So that's what I use. And yeah, there's the tune. But yeah, I love this thing. Um, it doesn't need the anti-lag. We could put it on there and see what it's like, but I don't see me needing it. You know, I mean, we're here, right? I mean, we could, but yeah, I just love this thing. I can floor it, and it spins its tire to a point, you know, and it's just smooth. And then there you go. Now it's hooking. Now we're ready to go. And see, we can see the power right there. We got the 1200 horsepower. Just cooking on all the way through. Only 8 pounds of boost. Not too bad. You know? Oh, I love this thing. It is such a smooth car. Alright, I can turn hard. Alright. I can, get on the gas and I don't have to worry about lag. I don't have to worry about tire spin. It's just gripping and going. Or another way, it's like it's grabbing the road and moving along. There is an old RC toy that I had back in the day that had a whole bunch of wheels to it, and as it would try to gain traction, it would open up into claws, and it would claw its way through pretty much anything you were tackling it with, whether it be rough terrain or rocks. The wheels would just instantly open up, turn into claws, and then grip its way through wherever it was going, and then turn right back into wheels again. It was pretty cool. I just don't remember what it was called. I know it didn't last long because I put it to the test, and it lasted for probably a day or two. But it is what it is. But yeah, this thing is very smooth. It's a nice, relaxing, tank. It's an absolute beast. I love this thing. So yeah, Mitchie wanted to know what my tune was all about, so I just figured, hey, I'll show it. I'll show the A800. I'm sure it's a little different, probably because you probably touch up the gears. Like I said, let's go and look at the anti-lag. I haven't looked. I'll be honest with you, I haven't. It's more money to spend, $7,200 that you probably don't need to spend. I'll spend it for you. I don't care. But it's, you save yourself maybe $7,200. You probably don't need it. Alright, so let's go back out there. So it makes noise. It's a noisemaker. That's what it is. Alright, stop here. It still goes the same way, alright, with the anti-lag. So from what I can tell there, save your $7,200. You don't need it. Alright? It's working just fine. Alright? And look, it can keep up with either that's a McLaren or that looked like a McLaren. I wasn't sure. I'm not gonna sit here and guess what that car was. Alright? But yeah, you don't need it. I don't see a difference, so save your money. Don't get the anti-lag in there. Just leave it as is. It's just fine. Alright, so there. Save you some money. But yeah, I love this thing. It's absolutely great. We can look at the other one and see the differences too. So here's this one right here. There's a 100-pound difference. 100-pound difference between the two. I love this A-Class though too. It does look different as you can tell. So it doesn't have the different hood. It still has downforce in the back. Same rims. Same pretty much everything's going to be in this thing. It's got the 1550. It's got a top speed of 200 miles per hour. It looks like it does have just the final drive in there, 5-speed. So there's that. You can see it's the same alignment. Basically the same around. This one has, though, no max downforce on it. It actually has, as low as you can go. 70 and 130 on the braking on this one, and then still 21 100. And I made these vehicles at the same time, and I just finally shared this one on 2024. This is from 2022, so this is how old that tune is. All right, that was before anti-lag. So there's that. Of course, I have King's all-wheel drive drift. So, anyways, that's another story for another time. And let's see how this one takes off. All right, it's got the same power. All right, it's right there at the red line, as you can tell once I take off there. All right, stop here. All right, still right there, right at the red line. All right, shift a little quick there. Yeah, it's quite wonderful. And there's the 4th gear right there, and moving on, and so on and so forth. So, a little faster for the A-Class, but C-Class isn't that far behind. I love how easy this thing is to accelerate. I love how it drives. It turns really well, as you can tell here. Has no problem. Even kicking out the rear end. Love this thing. And I mean, the gears are delightful for being what they are. It really is. I knew it was going to hit that. Like I said, the thing turns. It does. I'm not showing the side of that car. It's alright, we go back inside, it gets fixed. Not a big deal. But yeah, so it really depends on which one you want. If you want this, I don't even remember what I even called it. Usually, when I don't know what I remember what I called it, I'll have an A in there. And then honestly, I always say, if you can't wait for a share code, put in King Posh, put in the performance class you're looking for, press search. Alright? Alright, you're going to find me. Alright? Alright, so yeah. There it is. Alright, there's 2 of them. Maybe I was working on something and I messed up somewhere. Anyways, here. There's the share code for it, at least. So, there's that one. Got it? Great. So, I would go with this one since it's the newest one in the lineup. So, cool. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely hit that like button. I enjoyed making it for you guys. I'm going to switch it back to the C-Class because it is a lot more fun. And then we'll just go from there. But sorry guys, I made this such a long video. I really wasn't trying, but I really wanted to explain everything and cover all the grounds of everything with you guys. It is what it is. But hey, we got the video done. And yeah, it was a pleasure showing it to you. Well, hey, until next time, stay speedy, my friends.